this couple of problems dealing with productivity measures, partial productivity and total productivity. Basically, I'd just like to look at a couple of discussion problems and see what y'all think about them, discuss a little bit, and any questions y'all have. And the exam will be posted around 1 o'clock Friday.
1 o'clock.
1 o'clock Friday. It's supposed to come up at 1 o'clock. If not, I'll be in my office.
No,
Well, not, give me a call or whatever. I think there's 8 questions.
2 bonus.
No, there's no point. There is bonus points on the test because it's still a 75-point test. But if you add up the points possible on each problem, it comes up more than 75. So that means you can get a minus number. You can even worse than 0.
So, what type of format is it?
Huh?
What type of format is it? Is it like a Word document?
It's on you. What you will do, you will go to Connect, or not, Blackboard.
Blackboard, okay.
Go to Blackboard, under Assignments, go down to the bottom. The last one will be the exam. It'll say 4th exam. Click on it. Once you click on it, the clock starts running. You got 3 hours. You can't start and stop. You'll have 3 hours, which will be way more than what you'll need. That's in case you have problems or something like that. What you do is the problem will come up, and then you'll have a box underneath this to fill in your answer. And it'll be problems similar to what we've done in homework and stuff. Yes?
Does it show all problems at once, or do you have to do one and then go to the next?
I'm really not sure, remember what I clicked on that. I think it shows them all at once, but you can.
That would be great.
Yeah.
Or can you go, if it even shows only one at a time, can you go back and forth between?
That, I don't think
Because I know that, like, in our, forensic class, once you either answer the question or you don't, but if you hit next, that's completely it. Like, you can't go back, change your answer, pick an answer.
I don't think you can go back. I would go on assumption you can. That way you'll answer each question you go through. Most of them are short answers. I mean, 2 or 3 of them are real short. It's like, say, the 5-point. Most of the problems we've had there have been 10, 15 points. I got a couple of 5-pointers in there because it should be so short you can do it. So shouldn't be a real issue on most of them.
And we'll be able to show our work and stuff in there, right?
You type in whatever you want in that box, and it'll go for, you want to type a page or 2, you can. Okay, show your work. If you need a little table, make the table out.
And it's due Sunday at midnight?
Sunday at noon.
Well,
Okay.
I guess that would be Monday at midnight, but.
So, yeah. So, Sunday at noon. So you'll have 47 hours. Within a 47-hour window, find 3 hours to take. With 8 questions, and it should, if you take more than an hour and a half, then you got problems. I'm serious.
So nice of you.
Well, I'm being honest. I mean, it's length of test is similar to what y'all been doing in less than an hour or less in here.
Yeah, but our grades reflect that we were rushed.
Yeah.
No, they don't. Don't give me that lie. A lot of y'all left before the class was over. So if you rushed, that was your own thing. God, man, y'all can swing the bull.
You said we could say.
Huh?
You said we could slay a bull?
Sling the bull.
Like, where's the bull crap out?
Yeah. There are a few experts in here at that, and no doubt about that. Okay. Just as sort of reviewing, just talking about a couple questions I did like. One, look this one, and the reason I like this is because it's something we talked about. Many manufacturing plants, employees on manufacturing lines are employed to stop the line, hold production on particular assembly line. Again, especially plants using SPC, this is very true. The statistical process control, and if they see something wrong, they believe it's not right. For example, they begin to see units that appear outside specification, they can stop the production line. And this says, write a brief memo comment on the advantages or disadvantages of the problem. Well, let's just sit and think, and let's
I don't know. Where are we at?
Problem 32,
Okay.
chapter 20 or 18.
I never heard you say.
Well, I'm just, and this girl, I don't know why she doesn't wait more than me. She always carrying food and stuff around with you. And she's skinny as a rail. It's just not right people have metabolisms like that. I hate them. Yeah, my dad was that way. My dad ate me on the table. He was thin as could be. Unfortunately, I took after my mother on the metabolism side. Look at a piece of pie and I gained 5 pounds, much less tasty. Now, not to put your pie in there. Anyway, well, again, what advantages is when we give employees the power to stop production? And again, a lot of companies with the newer techniques, that's exactly what they have. What would be some advantages of it that you get them doing?
The employees are always the ones making the stuff, so they can spot right off if it's going to be
Okay. You know, who better than that's getting them involved in the process, right? What is a quality product? How do we discern what's wrong? You know, so you do get them involved in the production. And again, getting them involved, making them a part of it, you know, it gets a little bit more than I put my 8 hours in, I'm leaving. I mean, you know that attitude. Some of you may do it at the yogurt shop this summer. Like, let me get out of here. You know, I can care less. I'm tired of these munchkins. But the thing about it is, you know, if they have an ownership into it, buy into it, yes, it is an advantage. Pride and workmanship type deal. So again, it is a motivational thing with employees. It's good to have. What else? There's an obvious one. What should be a result of this? It's the bull in the china shop. What should happen as a result of this process? Improve quality, shouldn't it? I mean, if we're going to stop, when we see something going wrong, we're going to stop and fix it. And again, it's like I told you that one guy said, what's the difference now? Well, when we tell them there's a problem, they fix it now, down at E-Town. You know, that obviously, you know, if something's going wrong, I told you the Cracker Jack story, right? Years ago about how they had 300% inspection and they found out the little girl got her Cracker Jack, well, a couple people say that. A couple people, little girl got a box of Cracker Jacks, did not have a prize in it. And so her daddy was an attorney, they sued Cracker Jacks. And Cracker Jack's defense was, look, we got 300% inspection, meaning they had 3 different inspectors inspecting to make sure that everything was okay, that each box of Cracker Jacks had a prize going into it. And it said, obviously, you know, this girl got her prize because 300 inspection. Well, Cracker Jacks went back and thought, you know, one guy at Cracker Jacks thought, you know, let's just check this on. Well, they come to find out Inspector 1 would sometimes take off and be daydreaming, whatever. Why? Well, if I don't get it, Inspector 2 and 3 will get it. Inspector 2 would say, Inspector 1's already got it, why am I worried about it? And 3 says, definitely 1 and 2's caught it. I don't need to worry about stuff. So they found out that 100% inspection was actually better than 300%. Because, you know, people were just daydreaming, whatever, and they thought, well, somebody else will do it. And basically, the girl won her case. She got a case of Cracker Jacks. They weren't out to sky. That Dad said he did it. He told the company that he was doing it. It was not out to get blood or anything. It's just to teach your daughter the judicial system. And so, you know, they again, but it's worth a case of Cracker Jacks to the company to find out that their system was flawed. I mean, to them, that's cheap. Finding out that, you know, what we thought was a good system really wasn't a good system. And the thing about too, what about cost here? Would they increase or decrease?
Decrease.
Should decrease. Remember we talked about internal failure, external failure, appraisal, prevention. You know, here obviously you should have lower costs because we identify problems sooner and correct them sooner. And we don't have external failure, which we said was one of the worst, because not only do we have return sales and the possible potential loss of sales because of inferior product going out, a problem. Nothing like buying a new product that doesn't work like it's supposed to or advertised right. Makes you want to go buy from that company again. No. So, yeah, that's really. What about negatives? What would be some disadvantages here?
They stop the production too much, it could actually hurt the overall output.
Okay, you got higher cost if we're stopping production when there's really not a problem. And also too, different employees have different standards, right? So it could be a varying degree as to what's a malfunction and what is not. And so you would want to be very careful to train them as to what are standards and what is the quality that we want, and how to measure and all that. Like again, like I told you, that one plant I went through, the quality was just amazing how they could do it. And like I say, one thing I've told you in earlier classes, to this day I can still see that guy taking the different ingredients to make rubber hoses of the texture they needed, and they're measuring it electronically to the 10,000th of a pound. And this guy's taking a scoop and hitting it with 4 or 5 different ingredients. And the boss man taking us on tour said, "What's the scale?" There, they had a chart on the side, what it should be, each ingredient, what it should weigh when you put it in. This guy's just taking a scoop going. I mean, he's hitting it. I mean, there's a man that knows how to do his job. If you could hit on the 10,000th, I mean, it had like maybe a 4 or 5 10,000th range, and this guy's hitting it, knowing. He goes, "Well, I've done it so long, I just know how much I can tell by the weight of the scoop, the feel of it." And again, that's some. In these days, it's you still take your car when you go to it. They hook it up to the computer, tell it what's wrong with it, and all that. I'm still no curmudgeon enough, but I still like the guy that knows what he's doing and can tell by the sound or the feel. Like, you might want to check this too. And 9 times out of 10, I do have a guy like that. 9 times out of 10, he's exactly right. He does. He shows it to me. So again, the coming up and having some standardization between your employees, it could be a negative if you have people there. And plus, too, the training of the people to get them to that point where they can feel comfortable. Stop it. Big real issues. Okay. Another one I wanted to look at was 40. Here, you got a weekly production efficiency report since it's a corporation, and you've got 6 weeks of data there, top of page 687. Look at it and evaluate it. What's the brain trust come up with back here? What's going on here?
They're getting lazy.
How can you tell?
They're getting less and less efficient at making the product. It's being delivered later and later, and therefore more people are complaining.
Okay. Yeah, we went from 70 to 62% on a manufacturing cycle efficiency, and 98% on time to 90%. Number of plants went from 20 to 27. Not the direction we're wanting, right, on these. And so you know, from a county standpoint, what would we want to know? What would you want to know? You're the manager.
Why?
Why? Why is this doing? Well, what's some plausible reasons? Are the workers lazy?
Yes.
What might you want to look at and evaluate in a situation like this? You're the boss. What are you going to want to look at?
What if,
I mean, you're just going to look this like, well, obviously employees are lazy. You're going to come in and bow breed them, like with a whip and chain, get to work, and you get this back up, or you're out of here.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, a lot of management does work like that. They don't tend to be successful, but they do. It does. I grant you, there are people that way, that attitude. But why? If you're management, what would you want to look at here? In discerning why?
Figure out where the biggest
Downtime?
variance.
Well, let's take you first.
I was gonna say figure out where the biggest variances are as to why it's being inefficient. You could look at past variances.
Okay, you do a Pareto analysis, or the causes for some of it, true, and address those.
maybe manufacturing equipment could be breaking down, that could mean it takes longer. It could, I mean, that's not really the employee's fault. That's your
Okay.
equipment.
Well, again, let's think outside what could be some possible causes we could have. Is it things that the employees are not doing? What if it's something the company did? What could be some things that the company did that led to this? It's not the employee's fault. You know, we tend to look at it and say, oh, it's obviously the employee's fault. May not be. You're right. Could be equipment's failing. We're not doing good that. But what else?
If they're not selling it, that means it's gonna spend more days in storage.
True. But what else?
Maybe the shipping company had to break down.
Shipping company, possible.
No, we're just making excuses.
Huh?
No, we're just making excuses.
I know you are. Have you thought about what if the company reduced the workforce? In order they try to control costs, they reduce the workforce. Isn't that sort of a common thing going on these days? So they reduce the workforce. Could that not lead to inefficiencies? We don't have enough people to handle and do it. Again, right now, productivity of American workers way out there. Most of these companies these days are doing they're doing as much as they have in the past, but with far fewer workers. Productivity has to be up. I can't quote any statistics to you, but common sense says it has to be. And what I've read, articles I've read, it is an all-time high. That's one thing, a few things keeping this economy gurgling a little bit. They keep telling us that we're in recovery. I'm not convinced myself. So the appearances of it, it's basically due to the higher productivity that we have. But again, they could have cut costs, fewer workers. Things happen, right? We didn't catch this, we didn't do that. On-time deliveries, getting stuff out the door, suffers. Could be that the company was at fault, not the workers. You know, again, that's going back to find out what's going on here before we go in and lop heads off and chew out people. Because the problem is you have with that and dealing with industries and things over there, if you go in and act like that and do that, the people that can go elsewhere generally will. And who are the ones that generally can go elsewhere? Your best workers. So it's a spiral downward, isn't it? You lose your best workers, and the ones that are left are ones that can't go anywhere else, and they're here to stay. And God love them, the efficiency goes even further down, right? So again, that's an issue. And again, could it be what incentives do we have? Did the workers manipulate incentives to where it's leading to this, or did the company put in incentives that are counterproductive? That work against us. Now, if you want to see the opposite, look down the page here at Mid-State Metal there. What is that, 42? Notice here they're measuring number of orders filled on time, number of defective units as a percentage of total, and number of customer returns. All three of those look positive, right? Let's go the other way. Let's rain on the cloud a little bit. What might be some negatives here? when you get this rosy report again. And what I'm trying to do is learn to question things a little bit. You know, just don't say, oh, well, you know, hey, look at all this. Customer complaints are down, you know, defective units is down. I mean, you can think of positives here. I mean, obviously, maybe the workers have learned their jobs better, more efficient. Could be a reason for it. Could be new equipment that we've put in place, if you want to go that way. Like you said, it helps improve the report here. And it could be that, well, that's a negative. Could be production, sales and stuff decreased, and so hence we're able to keep up with things better. But what else? What other negatives would you think of maybe?
Maybe your costs went up, like you hired, better workers and are in more workers.
Okay, higher rate, better educated, better level
You pay more
quality. Could be.
professional.
Could be. What about the customer complaints? I mean, that went from 20 to 5. I mean, that's a 75% decrease.
What if
20 to 5. What could be, I know it's sort of raining on the parade, but what might be a possible explanation here that may not be all that good? I mean, obviously, we'd rather have fewer complaints than more, I grant you. But,
Could mean the people that complained at the first of it quit buying it, and the only people that are left are the people that are still gonna deal with it, they're still buying it.
okay, we could be losing customers because you're right. They said, heck with them, I'm not buying from them. And so the ones that will stand up for the right stuff. Or it could be too, that we've just lost customers. And they just said to heck with them. I'm tired of getting chocolate yogurt when I order vanilla. I ain't going back there. My way be the opposite thing. Vanilla. But, again, they could say, I'll switch suppliers because it doesn't do me any good to keep complaining and shipping stuff back and forth because I got to have the product in my factory or my store, depending on where we're at in the food chain there. And looking at it and saying, look, these clowns don't know what they're doing. I'm going elsewhere. So hence complaints went down because people went elsewhere. Because again, percentage of orders filled on time, fewer orders, we can catch up and get them real quick, right? Number of defective units as a percentage of total, fewer units, fewer defects. Right? So again, even though when you look at the rosy report, you need to look at it and evaluate it, and still, it's like variances. Even if it's favorable, ask why. Why is this so? Because, and again, you may not like the answers you get, but it may be that there's things that you find out that, there are things that we're doing right. Like City of Ashland, we do two things right over there. Summer motion and our Christmas, Central Park. And by the way, if anybody's in the area around July 4th, come on over for free concerts on the river. They're usually pretty nice. They've only announced one night. Styx is going to be there on July 5th. Yeah, that's my era. I know, y'all don't read up your history. Read in your history book about them, but, huh?
I said, I went and saw Sticks last summer in Cincinnati.
Yeah, well, they're going to be in Ashland on the river for free July 5th.
Common Billy Ray.
He was there one night. I didn't. I wouldn't. They had 50,000 people down there. I wouldn't have went there for nothing. Actually, didn't go. Winona was there one night, and then we went down and listened to her. The next night they were having somebody. And my wife. It was another country music act. I hate country music. My wife loves it, and she wanted to go. She decided she didn't want to go that night. And I said, well, okay, let's just go out and eat this back when the bluegrass was still up. That was one of those places where everybody moved away when they came home and went there. It's an icon. It's gone now. We went there while the concert was going on, and we were sitting there eating. The only other persons in it was Winona and her mom and two kids. So we had dinner with her. But that, like I say, it's one of the few things Ashland does right. It's a very nice weekend around July 4th, 3 or 4 days.
3 good days.
I
361 bad days, is that what you're saying?
A lot of things, we do a lot of stupid stuff over there. Yes, we do. But, yeah, it's like, actually, the Christmas thing
2 days.
was rated as one of the top 25 things in the southeastern United States, the city. And it's made some impressive lists.
Hey, Ashland was good for Keith Whitman too.
That's Elliott County, wasn't it? Ain't Keith Whitley Elliott County? Nah, he's Elliott County, so, I mean, the Ashland area. But, yeah, my wife went to school with old, what's his name from Louisa? Ricky Skaggs. Ricky Skaggs, he's a Louisa boy. Yeah, I mean, you know, there's few things in this area that we do excel in. Country music is one of the things we should excel in.
Close to West Virginia.
Huh?
So close to West Virginia. Got to.
What you need? I think great country music.
I bet Ashland also is heavily.
No, but I know some around all fields do. Okay. Any questions y'all want to go over? This is your time now. My questions are ready.
What
We'll
is
be
it?
ready Friday afternoon.
What is that cute?
I have no idea. It's been here all semester.
Is it stuck there?
No,
Is it part of
it's-
the thing? It's, okay, it moves, okay.
It's a cube.
I got you.
I have no idea. Somebody left it here. I have nothing. Not a clue as to what it is.
Are you going to miss us?
Absolutely.
Because this is the last one you'll ever see us.
I'll never see you ever again.
Probably not.
Not me. You'll see me.
You'll never be around ever.
I mean, I'm sure I will, let's be honest.
I mean, you know, y'all can still come by and say hi.
Well, I mean, it's a 2-hour drive to say, hi.
Well, you'll never be down this way or in Ashland or
Well, I'm
something.
sure I will.
See,
Probably not much.
call, we'll have lunch or something. Be glad to.
We'll still be around.
What makes you think you're graduating, you're passing this class to begin with, huh? I may want to see you around next semester.
Oh, no.
We will not be friends if that happens. No longer friends.
Well, no, but, hey, for those graduating and all that, drop a line every now and then, let us know how you're doing. I get a kick out of it when people call, email me and say, oh, by the way, this one you know. I actually had one that sent me a real long email, a couple of pages, very nice, and it'd been 20 years. He just wanted to update. He said, I was just sitting here talking, and he said, I got to thinking, I lost my dad, how I was in your class, and you just lost your dad like a few months before, and you used to sit and talk to me in class and after class and stuff. He said, it made a difference. Does he let you know what he done today? He's in Big Wheel up Columbus right now. So, that's pretty cool. Man, I hope you were very successful. What are your plans? Got any jobs?
I'm looking for a job that really has nothing to do with what I ever went to school for, but with I can transfer to any open position in 6 months. That's
Well, I was hoping Jericho would be here today. She's been in job interviews in Louisville, that's why she hasn't been here last few days. She's been emailing me and letting me know. I was hoping she has to come home back with some good news or something. Beat the bushes. Beat the bushes. That's, I know several firms are out there looking for people.
They haven't
Let
found
you
me
know
yet.
to make something.
Well, the thing about it is, I mean, I know, just knowing from, as they say, this is anecdotal evidence. You can turn this off.